for a quick moment, let's talk about pre-approval versus spendable income. So there is a huge difference here, and one of the things that we have been experiencing of late since the market has changed is that people don't think it's as important to get pre-approved anymore prior to looking at houses, because we don't have the market where you're going to basically be probably competing against, another 5 to 10 buyers on any house that you put an offer in on. And I kind of touched on this, I believe, last week in my video, but this is just getting bigger and bigger, in this market. So we get an inquiry on a property and, we ask our qualifying questions. And one of those is typically, are you pre-qualified or pre-approved? And many of the people in today's market are saying, no, we're just looking. Well, it kind of goes back to, the basis of how I run my business. I can't speak for anybody else in real estate, but one of the things that I do is I consider each customer and client the start of a new relationship, because, whether you're a customer and you just get the basic level service, or you're a client and get, a higher level of service, there are things that both of us need to do for the other one in order for the relationship to work. One of those things that I am passionate about is understanding how much you want to spend on a mortgage every month. So when I ask somebody if they're pre-approved or pre-qualified, it's not that I want to know, can you buy a house? It's that I just want to make sure you've had an opportunity to speak with a lender and make sure that you are comfortable with the amount of money that it's going to take each month for that house payment based on that house price. Because as I mentioned last week in my video, this is one thing I have learned over and over and over again. Once you start looking at houses, you can't unsee what you saw. So if I take you to see a house and you absolutely fall in love with it, but then you go back and you speak to your lender and you find out that that is going to be an extreme stretch for your budget to make that house payment every month, then it's going to make my job 14 times harder to find a house that's going to have everything that you saw in that higher priced house, because many times it just can't happen. Then you get frustrated and then you decide that you don't want to buy, which is fine. That is fine. I don't have a problem with that. There are people that decide they don't want to buy every day. But the thing is if you would have spoken with your lender prior to us looking at houses, then that house never even would have been an option. And that means that as you go forward in your life and maybe make more money or make a job change and, your income increases or whatever, you're going to be in a house that you love that's at a cheaper price. So you still don't have to spend more spendable income every month for a house that you could really appreciate and wind up enjoying. So this is just, as I stated before, this is, to me, is just part of having a successful business. Each person has to give their part. So whether you work with me or you work with another realtor out there that helps you, if you could think about what we offer more as a relationship than as a transaction, I think that this video will probably make the most sense to you. It is never a question of how much of a house can you buy. It's how much of a house do you want to spend each month to pay for. When you talk to a lender, they're going to give you your principal and interest payment based on your loan qualifications. And then once you find the house, then we have to add in, the exact taxes, whether it's just county taxes, county and city taxes, and your homeowner's insurance, because that's most of the time that's going to be escrowed in. So that's going to change your payment. As years move forward, your property is more than likely going to appreciate. Once your property starts appreciating, then your tax rate more than likely is going to go up. Or not your tax rate, but your taxes on your same property. They're going to increase in value. So, you have to look at that as well, because that's going to all feed into that basic payment, or base payment, if you will. So that's why it is so important to talk to a lender and to get pre-approved or pre-qualified before you start looking for a house. I really think that I can speak for the majority of realtors in saying that we don't care how much of a house you can buy. If you can buy a house, we are going to do our very best to help you find a house within your criteria. The most important thing is you being comfortable with that payment. So anyway, if we could change the conversation around that, and just look at what real estate is, and it is building relationships. Thanks so much.